Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rachah Chodash. Alright, man, that's who this world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew tongue, right? Yahweh being my Heavenly Father, right? Whose true name, who the world ignorantly calls God, right? Whose true name is Yahweh, being my Heavenly Father, right? Whose name means He is, right? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose true name is Yahweh Shah, whose name means He is our Redeemer, right? First and foremost, I had to go to give double honors to the elder apostles across the four corners of the earth who are continuing out here day in and day out to push 100% truth, right? We know where that 100% truth lies, within Great Millstone under Elder Apostle Tahar and on down, right? I will also have to give double honors, right, to the elder of the Men of Israel camp, the Chazak, right, who I also teach under out here in Greenville, South Carolina, right? I also have to give a shout out to you, Akim, right? That's you, brethren, right across the four corners of this earth. That's also out here pushing and teaching this truth, right? 100% truth as well. Who's also out here pushing this 100% truth as well. Right? I also have to give a shout out to you, Agwaf. That be you sisters to the very few Agwaf, right, who truly believe and take heed in these end times, man. To y'all that say shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, it's the Agbat coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shah once again, right? With another quick hit on break, man. And I know I uploaded. I know it's one I uploaded before this one. This is my actual break. You know, so I'm gonna still try to get in what I can. You know, but in this one, man, I want to go into, you know, this one's not gonna be too long. This is gonna be just a real quick hit. But going into predestination, man. Right. So what I'm gonna do, right, is I'm gonna get this word predestination. Let's get the definition for this word predestination, man. Let me see. Okay, so this word predestination, right, and this is just the Google definition, right? It says the act of predestinating. It says the state of being predestinated. Right, and all it goes into, it says the doctrine that God is let me see. No, that's okay. All right, so here we go. This is that other one. It wasn't really breaking down what the word means. Right, but this is the Google, once again, this is a Google definition. It says the AI overall, basically what predestination is. It says predestination is simple, and this in its simplest form is the belief that God, right, Yahweh, right, has already decided who will be saved and who will not, right? It says determining their fate before they were even born, right? It says determining their fate before they were even born, right? So let me turn this down a little bit, right? So that's the point of predestination, right? It's predestination, meaning the souls, right? The souls of the elect, Yahweh Shemal Shah already knows, right? Yahweh already knows, right? Yahweh knows exactly who is a part of his elect already, right? And who are 2/3, right? Who is the, and when I say this, I'm speaking about the elect going into the army, right? Then going into the 1/3 of the man, woman, and children. Those all consist of the elect, but specifically in this video, I'm speaking about the army, right? because I know that's our goal, man. That's what we really are out here pushing to do. We want to come back. We want to be able to be a part of that 144,000 men that come back and fight, right, with Yahweh Shah and the angels, man. So that's what I'm specifically speaking about, right? So it's basically that word is going into, it says, I'm going to read it one more time, right? It's the AI overall, the Google definition, right? It says the belief that Yahweh has already decided who will be saved and who will not. And that is a fact. Yahweh already knows who is a part of his elect. He already knows the souls who is a part of his elect. He already knows that, right? And the scriptures are going to prove that, right? That Yahweh already knew who's elected going to be, right? This is a quick hitter. Let's go Jeremiah 1. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, right? Verse 5, it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, right? So let's stop right there. It says, before I formed thee in the belly, meaning before, when you were just a tiny little vessel, right, in your mother's belly, before you even got in your mother's belly, Yahweh already knew who his chosen was going to be. He already knew the souls of who his chosen was going to be, right? He already knew that. He already knew exactly what souls those are going to be, man. Right? Who are going to be chosen. It's already a given, right? So technically, there isn't like anything extra that we can do, right? As far as of pushing to get saved, because predestination is a real thing. It's true. It's accurate, right? Yahweh already knows, right, who's going to be a part of the elect and who's not, right? So let's keep reading. It says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, right? It says, and before thou camest forth out of thy womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee, a prophet unto the nations, right? That prophet unto the nations, man, that's going into the elect. Here, Yahweh Bashmel Shah. Well, I'm just saying Yahweh, right? Yahweh already knows. Yahweh already knows. Like I said, he already sanctified and already ordained who is going to be out here prophesying the downfall with 100% truth, right? With 100% truth, Yahweh has already ordained who's going to be doing that. Yahweh has already ordained who's going to be false prophets out here as well. Right? So like you got IUIC out here, you got ISUPK out here, you got GOCC, you got all these other motherfuckers, man. That's folly, right? Yahweh already knew those souls that were going to be folly, and Yahweh absolutely knew those souls who are not going to be folly and who are gonna be a prophet with 100% truth among the nations, right? Yahweh has already been set in stone. Right? Yahweh already knows those souls, right? Who are going to be over here? Who's going to be the deceived? Yahweh already knew everything, man. Let me just put it like that. I'm not going to try to put it into... I'm gonna try to keep it in simplest terms, man. That's what I'm going to try to do. Right? So let me read that one more time, and I'm going to jump and I'm going to grab one more. Jeremiah 1:5, it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Right? It's already set. It's already set. Before we were even in the belly, Yahweh already knew what was going on. Right? Slocking real quick. Drink a little tea. Right, but it says Yahweh already knew, man. Before we were even formed in the belly, man, Yahweh already knew. All right. Let me jump real quick. I'm gonna jump real quick. So I can click the room. Book. I'm gonna just get straight to the point. Right, it's the book of John, chapter 15. It's verse 16. It says, right here, it says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go forth and bring forth fruits, and that your fruits should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of my Father in my name, he may give it to you, right? But the point being of this verse is, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, right? Yahweh Shemel Shah is already known. Yahweh Shemel Shah is already known the spirits of who are going to be who, right? So predestination is true. Predestination is an actual thing. Predestination is an actual thing, right? Like I said, Yahweh Shemel Shah already knows the souls of who are going to be chosen, right? Because Yahweh has already knew before we were even formed, right? Yahweh already knew. You know what I'm saying? We were not chosen. We didn't choose. We were chosen. You see what I'm saying? So once again, there's nothing extra. Like we can. There's nothing extra that we can do to try to spice it up more. If you're not chosen. Like let's say, for instance, if you're not someone who's not chosen, try to do a little extra to get chosen. That's not how it's going to be. Those souls, like, okay, let me put it like this. If Yahweh Shemel Shah put it upon your spirit to do a little extra, and it goes, and you, let me see how I can put it. If Yahweh Shemel Shah put it in your spirit to do something, and you branch forth and catapults in a good angle, you could have been chosen. Like you could have been chosen, like already from the beginning to do that. Somebody who thinks they're chosen and already doing that can fall, and they were already ordained not to be chosen anyway. So yeah, they were up, but then they went down, and so then they were casted off. You get what I'm saying? Somebody who was down and go up, that could be someone who's already chosen, and someone who was up and went down, that's someone who was not chosen. It's just that simple, right? Now I'm trying to put it in simpler words for y'all, because a lot of people try to act like a lot of people want to make shit so extra complicated and shit. We ain't got time for that. But yes, man, those souls of who are already going to be chosen and going to see, it's already set in stone, man. Yahweh Shemel Shah, Yahweh already knows, man. Yahweh already knows, man. So yes, predestination is a real thing. That Google definition, let me read the Google definition one more time. The Google definition AI overview, Salakia, it says predestination in its simplest form is the belief that God, Yahweh, has already decided who will be saved and who will not, right? And that is very true. It says essentially determining their fate before they are even born, right? And that is very accurate. That is very true, and that is the case in point. All right, that is the case in point. Everybody's fate has already been chosen before we were even born, right? Everybody's fate has already been chosen before we were born. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We don't know we don't know who's chosen, and we can somewhat tell who's not, but we don't know who was chosen. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know who's chosen. We will not know who's chosen until that day. Until the ones who are chosen hear those words of "come up hither," But until then, we don't know. But are they already chosen? Is predestination a real thing? Absolutely. Absolutely, predestination is 100% true. But with that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and end it, right? I know the point was made through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, right, man? But with that, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and end it, man. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Just keep doing it, keeping the faith. Keeping doing it, keeping the faith until the end. Shalom, shalom, shalom.